And let's
I'm not going to be able
Yes.
to stay, but Pratapji, I want to say how wonderful it was hearing you on Amartithi. It was so
Uh,
beautiful, and it brought me back to when we were there together. Actually, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Jai Baba.
it was
Yes.
wonderful. I agree. Well, shall we begin together with 3 times Baba's name, Baba's J, Avatar,
Meher
Baba,
Baba
Ki
ki
J.
jai.
Avatar Meher Baba
Baba
Ki
Mayor
Ki
Baba
Jai.
Ki Jai.
Meher Baba
Avatar,
Avatar
Ki
Mayor
Mayor
Baba,
Baba
Ki
Baba
J.
Jai.
Welcome, Pratapji.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jai Baba to all of you. I hope you hear me properly. Today from 19th we have our birthday functions. We have a week long program, Baba's birthday programs, starting from 19th, and on 25th it will be morning prayers and also evening program. So next Friday, I am sorry, I will not be take this session. So for the time being, this will be just before we again meet after the birthday function. This will be last before birthday. Now, today I have just thought about sharing with all of you the the personality or the character of Shirin, my Baba's mother. I am sure that you must have read it many times through Lord Meher or God Brother and some other books. But that let us have share those memories together, and somehow I am very much attracted towards this personality of Shirin Mai. She had very special qualities, and in spite of the fact that she was a mother of God man, still then she was so very leading a worldly life, doing full justice to her worldly life, and that is really speciality in that woman. So many things could be said about her. I am really very much attracted towards the personality. I have not seen her because when I came to know about Meher Baba, she was no more here. But then, very thoughtfully, our center, Baba Center in Bombay, they have printed one small booklet on entirely on Shirin Mai. Mai means mother, Shirin mother. If you look at her life, she has been put into a worldly life of marriage as early as the age of 5 years. As we know that Sheriyar ji, who happens to be Baba's father, he had passed his 18 years of his life wandering like a fakir and begging for food and living anywhere he gets a time, he gets a place, even under the shade of trees and during night time also, in all the seasons. So that person was very much against entering into worldly life. He had the inclination toward the life of a fakir. But then the destiny brought him somehow to Pune, where his sister was staying. The name of his sister was Firoza. And thereafter, Firoza started forcing him to stay over in Pune only, start some business, get married, and to which he was not really inclined. He was not inclined to go into a married life. So he was avoiding it, and then every day somehow that subject will be made to crop up, and then his sister would just pester on him to get married and do some business. To get rid of that persuasion from his sister, she pointed out to this girl, Shireen, and she was only 5 years old, whereas Shariar was about, must have been 18 years or some, no, more than that, it was beyond 20. There was a vast difference, but then he thought that it will be impossibility to have such a marriage with a young girl. He was so very aged and she was very young. But then the destiny brought them together. A girl of 5 years married an old man. This is the start of her life. And we can imagine how she would have adjusted with this odd match. We have never read anywhere, or we have never heard from anybody's mouth that she was not happy with this marriage. It was not so. She was always, as a very good household woman, adjusting with every situation. And Shariar ji, now let me, before I further say something, this they were from Persia. Sharian's father was from Persia. His name was Dorabji. And when, because of the situation, a sort of a living in a dangerous situation in Persia, they shifted to Bombay. And thereafter, staying in Bombay for a few days, for a few months maybe, they shifted to Pune and settled in Pune. And Shirin used to like Pune very much. So they acquired a house in Pune, and her father, Dorabi, she started a tea shop. As usually the Iranis used to, whenever they shift to Pune or Mumbai or any place in India, their main business was to start a tea shop, tea hotel, and keeping very few things, just as bread and butter and omelette, and that's all, and cakes and biscuits. These were the items which they used to keep. And this man had started such a hotel. So they have shifted from Bombay to Pune. And in Pune, this all happened that she was chosen as a wife by a very elderly person. And the marriage took place when she attained a marriageable age, at the age of say 13 or maybe 14. And then at such immature age, she had to enter into a married life. At the age of 15, she got the first son, whose name was Jamshed. And that time she had no motherly feelings in her. And that is the reason why she could not take care of that child. Even she was very callous about that, not very attentive to the needs of the child. And ultimately, the child was taken away by her sister. Her name was Daula. They were staying in outskirts of Pune, and he was brought up there by her sister Daula. But then here, the second son was Meherwan, that is Meher Baba, and she had as many as 9 children. Out of them, 7 were boys and 2 were girls. Out of that 2 girls, only one survived, that is Manija. He became the Mandali members of Meher Baba, and all the other brothers, they had their life in the worldly, they had their worldly life, but they are keeping close contact with Baba. Whenever Baba wants them to Meherabad, where Baba thereafter settled his ashram, whenever Baba wants, these people will just go there and do whatever Baba wants them to do. So this was the total life of this family which was going on. And all of a sudden, in the life of Meherwan, who was in the college, in the second year of arts, very reputed college, and there he was studying, and a drastic turn took in his life, that he met with Babajan, a very high a Sadhguru, or the perfect master, out of the five perfect masters of Meher Baba. She was the first one, and then she gave realization to God man. And the whole turning took place in the life of that God man. Now, this Sheriyarji have two houses in Pune. They were just very close to opposite to each other. And one was a pumpkin house. There is a big stone pumpkin in front of their house, and another is Baba house where there is a well. Now this Shirin, she could not, when Meher Baba's life had taken a drastic turn, he had to attend his autaric mission, and that's why he had stopped going to college. That education was stopped, and then he started running after the saintly personalities. He went to Narayan Maharaj. He went to Tajuddin Baba. He went to Sai Baba. Then ultimately he spent most of the time with Upasni Maharaj. So actually, he was detached from the worldly life, which was very painful for Shirin. When we can imagine how painful it could have been. Her dreams were that Meherwan would will study and will have a mastery in some big degree, and then he will do some big business or employed in a very high position and earn a lot of money, and then he will marry and have lot of children also. That was the dream which she had carried throughout her life. But then this turning had shattered all her dreams. And that must have been very painful. We can imagine how painful it could have been. Especially when now, if we bring before eyes the picture, how she had faced different situations. When Meher Baba or Merwan met Baba Jan, and after that kiss, it was unbearable for him, and he used to have very bad headache, and to reduce that headache, he used to hit his head with a stone. That stone is still prepared in that house, Baba house. He used to hit, and then his whole face will be covered with blood. And Shirin, we can imagine how Shirin should have faced this situation, that his very favorite child has his head broken with stone and blood is flowing through that wound. It was very terrible for her to see this. And then what she thought, that this boy has gone mad, and then she took him to several hospitals, several doctors, various specialists, but there was no cure for his state of mind. And also, not only that, also she had thought that he was possessed by some evil eye. And then he took him to several such people who cure or who have some remedy on this evil eye. But nothing worked, and this Meher Baba or Merwan was gradually going out of her grip. And it was very, very, very unbearable for her. She very well knew that this boy goes to Baba Jan and sit there for hours together in the night time, late hours. He sits there and he does all the petty jobs for Baba Jan. He will bring tea for her. He will wash her cups and saucer, and then he will press her feet, and then he will scratch her back, and all sorts of such jobs he will do for Baba Jan. A very, very strange attraction was there, which Shirin could not understand what is that. And she knew that this boy is spending much of time with that woman. In the community, in the Parsi community, they used to call Baba Jan a witch. And they used to criticize, because this Merwan is so very attached to that woman. The whole community used to criticize, and Shirin had to face all this criticism, all this slander from the society. We can just imagine how she had stopped going and meeting with the people of this society. That to that extent she was put to a very difficult situation because of her son. And fed up with this situation, she was thought of taking to task Baba Jan, and with her mother, Shirin's mother, name of Shirin's mother was Golendu. She took her mother and went to Babajan to ask her the reason why that boy comes and spends time with Babajan with her. And Babajan said, he is वो मेरा प्यारा बेटा है, he is my very loving child. He is my favorite son. And Shirin gets so very upset. She turns to her mother, Gulendra, and says, how dare she say that Merwan is her child or her son? But then these perfect masters have their own knack of dealing with the people. What Shirin did, what Babajan did was, she turned her attention to Gulendun, that is the mother of Shirin Mai, and talked her days in Persia. How the Muslim community was very much torturing all these non-Muslims, and they had to shift to India and live in India. All that they were talking with each other, and these memories of the olden days ended into both of them having tears in their eyes. And Shirin was simply surprisingly watching these two, and then without any logical result of her anger, both of them come home, and Shirin scolds her mother, saying that I took you to scold that Babajan, whereas you were talking so lovingly with her. This is the way you treat my son. And then after some days, she was insisting again and again Gulendun to go and see Babajan. And Gulendun used to go there, but then with no result, no desired result for Shirin Mai. And then once she went to Upasni Maharaj also. But thereafter, before that, she went to Narayan Maharaj. She went to Upasni Maharaj, but Upasni Maharaj also gave her some evasive reply, and she had to come back without any logical result. And then she went to Narayan Maharaj. Narayan Maharaj very respectfully received her, and he bowed down to her and said, you are the mother of Jagat Narayan. Jagat Narayan with the master of the world. And you are also the mother of the whole world. Because she was mother of Nirvan. Nirvan was Jagat Narayan. And because she was mother of Jagat Narayan, she was also a mother of the whole world. That is what Narayan Maharaj told her. And very respectfully, he told her, and she came back to Pune. She was much impressed by Narayan Maharaj because he was so very polite and so very understanding that she didn't have any grudge against Narayan Maharaj. But then she had grudges against Babajan and Upasni Maharaj. She went 2-3 times to Upasni Maharaj. When she went to Upasni Maharaj the first time, Upasni Maharaj received her, saying that you are also my mother. And she was furious, saying that how can I call you as my son? You are so old and in such rags. such a dirty looking person, and you call yourself to my son, how it could be? But then when she asked about Merwan, Upasana used to avoid that mention of Merwan, and she had to return without any positive result. Like that, she went 2 times, and the third time when she for the first time she went along with her son Behram. His name was Behram. He was the third son of Shirin. So he was with her, and then for the third time, this boy who was there with her was Adi. Adi was thereafter in London for several years, but he was in Pune, and he accompanied Shirin to meet Upasni Maharaj, and she just, without any other subject, she said that why you have kept Mirvan with you? What reason there? What is the reason there for you to keep him here? And Upasni Maharaj said, no, I don't stop him. He wants to say, what can I do? And she said, why don't you ask him to go away? And Upasni Maharaj says, I will not ask him to go away. It is up to him to go away. And you can tell him if you want, you can tell him. But I have not stopped him. Upasni Maharaj put before her a very strange request, or sort of a option. He said, if you want to take away Mirvan, I won't mind. You take away Mirvan, but you keep this boy Adi with me. And she becomes very angry, shouts on Upasni Maharaj, saying that you have already taken my one son, and your eyes on that another son. I am not going to do that. And somehow I will take my son back to Pune. You call him wherever he is. And then Upasana Maharaj calls Merwan. Merwan came there. His he was not very properly dressed. His whole body was, covered with dust, and the clothes were also torn. She had brought good clothes for Merwan, but Merwan refused to wear those good clothes. And he sat by the side of Upasni Maharaj. And when she said that I have come to take you along with me, Merwan flatly refused. I am not going away from Upasni Maharaj. That hurt her so much. My own son, he wants to stay away from me with this yogi-like person, practically naked person. What attraction there? What attraction is there in this person? And she very sadly says that I want to take him by any way, I want to take him along with me. And Upasana Maharaj said that you will take him and you want to get him married and you want to get him do some business, some cheating business, and collecting all the blames of the people. That sort of a life you want him to live. If you are happy with that, you take away your son. But do one thing for me also. What is that one thing? If you choose a girl for Merwan, you choose a girl for me also. Very strange point. Upasini puts it before her, and she very sternly says that who is going to marry with such person who doesn't have any clothes on his body and he's just like a yogi? Who is going to marry with you? So the third time when she had to come empty-handed, when she got into the boarded the train, the whole journey she was weeping and weeping. And when he reached home, she straight away went to her room, and the whole night she was weeping, and she fell sick. Now all the people in the house, all the members of the house, they were worried about her. Sheriar was worried about her. They showed her to several doctors, and he had gone in a sort of a dejected mood, sort of a depression, a disappointment, and had stopped eating also. And it was causing worry to all the members of the family. This went on for a few days. Whatever food she was being served, she used to refuse. She never used to even turn her eyes towards that food. This is the thing which was causing much worry about for the family members. And once, when she was lying restlessly on the bed, she had gone into sleep, and Shiryaji was sitting by her side on a cot. And what he saw is that the door which was closed was very lightly opened, and two personalities appeared there. They came close to her bed. They looked at her for some time, and thereafter they went away. One person after that was Sai Baba, and another person was, of course, Merwan. And the very next day, when Shirin got up in the morning, she got up and sat on her bed and asked for water, and then she was in her normal. All the family were relieved about her recovery, and then she was thereafter she started being very normal. That time of causing worry about the family members had dissolved, and then because the two persons coming there in the night time, and thereafter she was she again resumed her cooking business and all the other business. Now there are certain statements which have been made about her characteristics, about her personality. But then before that, I will tell you one incident which happened in Mumbai. That was the place was Bharucha building in Bombay Central, and there that particular flat was occupied by one of Baba's old lovers. His name, sorry, I'll tell you afterwards. Now, Baba had gone there, and when she saw, she went with one of her accompaniment was a woman, and another was a young man. All the three went to that bungalow to meet Mirwan. And when she looked at Mirwan, he was actually reduced to a skeleton. He was observing fast. And she got annoyed with him, she scolded him and said, why you are starving like this? You have gone mad? And Mirwan gives a very beautiful answer. She says that I am not mad. I have not gone mad, but the world have gone mad, and I have to correct them. I have taken this fast, and she says that how you are when you are fasting, how you are going to correct those people who have gone mad. It is yourself you are taken madness upon yourself. How you are one mad is going to correct the other mad people. And he says, Mirwan said that I have taken birth in your womb to save the people from madness, save the people from worldly madness. And if I fail in my duty, the posterity will blame you for that because you have failed into your duty. You have given me birth. If I fail in my duty, ultimate blame will come on you also. That was the relation in between these two, mother and son. And she had a good laugh there. Now I have some. I would like to read some of the portions from a small booklet which has been printed by Bombay Center. One is a statement of Meher Baba himself about Shirin. You see, in Guruprasad, we have heard Meher Baba saying about Shiriyarji, his father, the life he has chosen, and how very honestly he lived that life. Baba used to refer to that, and he had said about his father. But I have never heard Meher Baba saying anything about his mother. Personally, I have not heard. Now, here Baba says about his mother. Baba mentioned. Baba mentions about his mother. She helped me so much in my work. A statement which nobody can understand. She has helped me so much in my work. She played her part well. She was an exceedingly adventurous woman and extremely fearless. She was purest crystal. She was purest crystal. This is the son God man is saying about his mother, in spite of the fact that she was so very opposing to his godhood. She was losing her son to God. In spite of that, Baba has praised her so much. Now, here is Mani saying about about Shirin Mai. Shirin Mai and Shiriyarji would often look at the same issue from two different angles. Shirin Mai from the material angle and Shiriyarji from the spiritual angle. Shiriyarji taught Shirin Mai to read and write Persian, and before long she knew much of Hafiz by heart. Her daughter Mani recounts, I love to see my parents sit together in the evening reading the Shahnama Persian history. Shirin Mai was a doting wife and an excellent mother with an innate love for her life. She was down to earth and practical in managing the large household and other worldly affairs. She maintained and managed the house and family with much care and possessed great intelligence and wit. She had to be to a practical one, considering a husband who was too generous with his worldly goods, giving money and things away to anyone he felt was in need. This attribute of Shirarji would disturb Shirin Mai because then she would have to penny pinch on the household budget to make ends meet. Oh, my poor mother, money would go groan, having a dervish for a husband and God for a son, and having to raise a big family. Shirin Mai would ensure value for money in her deals. For example, whenever she was shopping for some fabric, she would carry a damp cloth in her purse to rub a corner of that material to test its color fastness. Money ordered that, like Baba, Shirin Mai was scrupulous about rules while living in rented house in Bombay to help encourage her son Behram set his photography studio business. If the rent was due on first, she paid it beforehand on 28th. Shirin Mai hated Bombay and loved Pune. Punu to behest, nu khunu. Some words there. Pune is a corner of heaven, Shirin Mai used to say. She was glad to be born in India. She was glad to be born in India and not in Iran. So people would not refer to her as jungly, uncouth, Iranian from a peasant country. She loved India. Shirin Bai was good recounter and would narrate stories of peculiar people in their lane and amusing things that had happened when Baba was a child. She had a distinctive sense of humor. For instance, she had a good Muslim friend in Pune who once told her, Shirin, I love you so much. You are my best friend. That is the Muslim lady telling. Why don't you become a Muslim? But why should I become a Muslim? Shirin inquired. Because only Muslim answer which the Muslim gave was because only Muslims go to heaven. Then I don't want to go to heaven. That that woman asked, but why not? And Shirin says there would be too few people there to talk to, and I love to talk. Shirin quipped. She loved going to the theater. There were no cinemas then in Pune. She would not miss a good play, even said money. Now, this sort of a, although Shiranmai comes across as a very strong-willed, no-nonsense and forceful individual, she had a definite dignity in her bearing and speech. Princess Norina Majwali One of Baba's Western disciples once remarked, even when asleep, Shirin is a queen. On the one hand, she could be extremely loving and sweet, befitting her name, and on the other, she would not hesitate to speak up her mind and demonstrate her sharp and bitter side. Bitter side. Mani remarked, "My heart would often go out to mother. She had endured a lot for the sake of her son, whom she loved above all. The son she referred to as my most beautiful child, being God's mother, is no joke. By her son's grace, mother played her role well." This once Baba remarked that Kharman Masi would be his father in the next the Avtaric Advent. It's a beautiful incident. Once Baba remarked that Kharman Masi would be his father in his next Avtaric incarnation. Kharman Masi is a fatty woman, very old woman, but very loving. He informed his close woman disciple Gai Mai Jesawala. Gai Mai Jesawala is Eric's mother. When I come back after 700 years, you will be my mother. That is what Meher Baba says to Gai Mai. On hearing this, Shirin Mai exclaimed, "Never be the Avtar's mother. Never be the Avtar's mother. It is a miserable existence. Haven't you seen my plight? How outsiders insult me and do not let me live in peace." This is all about Shirin Mai, and as we know that Adi's mother Gulmai, Baba used to call her as his spiritual mother. So there was little bit of internal tussle in between Shirin Mai and Gulmai. I am surprised to read that Shirin Mai used to quarrel with Gulmai. Gulmai was so very sober woman, very, very well behaved, very soft spoken person. I have seen her personally. She was very nice person. And the only fact which causes, used to cause Shirimai to quarrel with Gulmai was that Mir Baba was telling Gulmai to be his spiritual mother. That was the only cause for that dispute. And for it was very difficult for Mir Baba to settle this dispute. So many times Shirin would be upset and she would not listen to Baba. Once Mir Baba uh, said that I have created the whole world including you. I have given birth to the whole world including you. When Shirin said that I have given birth to you, in reply, Mir Baba said that it is I who has given birth to you, because I have given birth to the whole entire world. This is a very beautiful story in between the son and a mother. And personally, I feel very much attracted toward this, the very material attitude of Shirin Mai. The situation under which she was placed and she was facing is really anyone would have been in that place. Anyone would have been behaved in a manner which we think that Shireen Mai was behaving. But then, whatever she has suffered, I always feel that, as Mani has very rightly said, that she had to face two personalities. One is a dervish as her husband, and a godman as her son. Both were very lavishly giving money to people, to poor people, needy people. And within the rest of the earnings, she had to manage the family of nine children. One girl was no not there. She died, and one first boy was brought up by her sister. But the rest she had to bring up, and then she must have faced very hard time. This is, we can just study about the God man's mother. One thing I would just think, how the mother has to sacrifice, because God man has to do his own mission, complete his mission for which he has taken birth on this earth, and the mother has to suffer to give that child for the sake of the world, for the sake of the welfare of the world. I will take another example in the case of Lord Rama. Rama's father Dashrath, his name was Dashrath, King Dashrath. He was a king and he had three wives. One was Kaushalya, who was the biological mother of Rama. And second one was Kaikeyi, who had two sons. One was Bharat, his name was Bharat, and another was Shatrughna. And third wife was Sumitra, whose son was Lakshman. These were the children. Now, the second one, Kaikeyi, even though she was not biological mother of Ram, but she used to love Ram very much. And as a eldest son, Ram was to be made a king after Dashrath. And he was to be enthroned. And there was a big function was arranged, a throning ceremony of Rama, Lord Rama. And the previous night, it's a very beautiful story. The previous night, the spiritual guide of that family, that king, one is Vasishtha, is a Rishi, and another is Vishwamitra, who is also Rishi. Both go to Kaikeyi, the second wife. And they said that it will be very chaotic if Ram is made a king. The reason was Ram is the avatar of this age. He has to do a lot of work with the people. And if he is made a king, he will be stranded to that position more than half of his life. And then whatever he has to do his avataric work, that will be left out. So he requests Kaikeyi to do something to stop this ceremony. Ceremony ceremony of Ram taking over as a king. And Kaikeyi, she was loving Ram more than her own sons. But then it was a very difficult task for her. But she was very beautiful, very, very intelligent also. She had saved Dashrath, her husband Dashrath, in a war. And at that time, because she saved the life of her husband, that husband Dashrath had given her two promises. By one promise, she could ask for anything which he was ready to give. But she said that I will ask for this fulfillment of these promises when time comes. And these two rishis had known this promise that Dashrath had given to her. And they insist that she should ask the fulfillment of those promises. And with one promise, she should make her son as a king, Bharat. Bharat was her son. So her son should be made as a king, and with the other promise, Ram should be sent in exile for 14 years. Now let's look at this situation. She, in spite of her love for Ram, she had to take the blame of bringing forward these two promises, by virtue of which Ram is deprived from being a king and undergoing exile for 14 years. Throughout her life and throughout the whole history in Rama's life, Kaikeyi had to bear this blame on her. Even though Ram was the son whom she used to love more than her own children, because the priority was avtaric work. Comparing with Baba's life, where Baba's priority is avtaric work. And for that, Shirin had to forgo that son for the sake of humanity's welfare. She had to forgo that son. I see much similarity in these two incidents. We have completed our time. I do not know how you have enjoyed these peculiarities of this whole story of Shirin Mai.
Very much, very much.
Yay,
Yeah.
Baba. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a very touching story, very touching. Now, shall we have Aarti?
Yes, Archie. Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Which one you would like to have?
Jahan Kalpana.
Kalpana, all right. All right, thank you so much.
Baba liked this, Archie. You said Baba liked Jahan
Yes.
Kalpana.
Yes.
What is there not to like? What is there
Sorry?
not to like?
जहाँ कल्पना शब्द न पहुँचे, ऐसे अपरंपार नेति नेति वेद पुकारे, महिमा तोरी अपार। दिव्य सनातन परम दयालु, दिव्य सनातन परम दयालु, हे जगदोद्धारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। धूप दीप चंदन चर्चाना, भोग लगाना फूल चढ़ाना, तुम राही तुमको लौटाना, काहे बढ़ाई करो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। सकल निधि के तुम कारण हो, सकल ईश्वरन हारे हो, तुम समार नहीं तुम ही हो, हे सत्य अवतारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। सकल चराचर तुम्हारी माया, माया भी तो तुम्हारी छाया, तुमरा अंत न कोई पाया, तुम अनंत करो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। अपने को जब जो नहीं जाने, महिमा तुम्हारी क्या पहचाने, जो कुछ भी कहते अनजाने, गुण गाते तुमरो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। मानाही तुम्हारी कृपा को, क्या कोई दे सकता प्रभु तुमको, भीख तुम्ही दो प्रेमी जनों को, नित्य तुम्हें सुमिरो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो, मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो। दिव्य सनातन परम दयालु, दिव्य सनातन परम दयालु, हे जगदोद्धारो मेहर मन आरती स्वीकारो मेहर मन आरती स्वीकारो जय बाबा. Yes,
Pratap,
yes, yes,
Pratap,
please.
what does the word swikaro, what does that mean, that word, swikaro? Meheramana arati swikaro. What is
Swikaro,
swikaro?
accept my arti.
Yeah, yeah.
Accept. Swikaro.
Swikaro. Ah,
Yes. Arati, accept my arti.
accept it.
And that arti is of his mind.
Ah,
He is offering his mind in arti. Actually, arti, we wave that dish plate, either we burning camphor and then a lamp, oil lamp, and some flowers. We wave that arti. Now, all these offerings, he is offering his mind in that arti, and what he says that you accept this arti which is of my mind.
ah,
A very beautiful meaning, very beautiful meaning.
wow,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Mm.
Thank you so much for talking about
Yes.
Shireen. Shireen, it helped
Yes.
me. It helped me. Yeah, yeah.
Very, very special
Yes.
composition.
Well, such a great avatar advent. So her suffering was worse than the other mothers.
Yes.
Krishna, Rama, Buddha. Yeah, hers was the greatest. She was the outcast of the Parsis. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All of her children taken. Yeah.
Now, next Saturday, I will not be there. I hope you will excuse me for that because we have 7 days program, and as you know that we have lot of children program.
Ah, nice.
Yes, all the last 3 days will be all children program,
Wow.
and very young children, even very young means about those children who can stand
Oh
or
my
can
gosh.
they will be all will be put on the stage and we will just sing.
Delightful.
They will have
Delightful.
their own, in their own style. They will dance, move their.
Zindagi.
Yes, yes, yes.
Zindagi.
It is very blissful to watch the children. So we will have those programs by the children. So
We'll be
goodbye.
enjoying programs, but we will miss you being here, but we're all together with Baba.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Pratap.
Jai Baba, thanks. My pleasure.
Jai Baba.
We will say
Avatar
Meher Baba ki
Ki Jai.
Jai.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki
Jai.
Jai. Avatar Meher Baba
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Armer
Babakudaji.
Jai.